Welcome to Debate 9, Cut the Shap, where we will
Indeed.
have 30-second debates followed by a 60-second open debate. No prep. The debaters are also the judges on this show. And chaos will ensue.
Cupla.
May you
Welcome.
both debate well.
I love arguing and I love judging. This is the perfect show for me.
Oof, move along home. This is going to be wonderful.
Okay, you can show up every time. Yeah, move along home. Interesting. Now we might have to talk about that here shortly. Well, should we get right into it?
Let's do it.
All right. I'll go first. Why not?
That's irritating me.
So let's start here. So all Debate 9 veterans here, so everybody knows what they're doing. So be it. Let me make sure you guys can hear this timer. Do you guys hear that?
Yep.
Is it super quiet? Should be a little more loud. How's it sound for you?
Just like on the bridge of the Enterprise. Sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it's a good volume.
Okay. Good. All right. Then, in that case, be it resolved. Gull Scrain Ducat, as we find out is his first name, doesn't believe his own horseshit. Ashley, you will be for this.
Okay.
And Dave, you will be against. And of course, 4 always goes first on this show. So, Ashley, your 30 seconds starts now.
I mean, we see him through the entire series constantly change what side he's on for what. He'll pick his beliefs based on what he thinks is going to get him power, whether that makes him the bad guy or the good guy or the bad guy again. He changes his race at the end to a completely different race and religion to try and be in power. So obviously he doesn't believe anything he's spewing other than he's the greatest and should be in power.
Good opening argument there.
Do I go now?
Your rebuttal starts now.
Okay. Godicot's beliefs are consistent and result in his opportunism. They're not defined by his opportunism. You mentioned them just at the end. Power, domination, and something between veneration and adoration are what Gul Dukat wants or craves in every situation. And so, in one sense, it is all horseshit, but in one sense, it's all toward an objective. And so he's always fully committed to the bit. He always believes his own horseshit.
Okay. Well, your 60-second open debate starts now.
I mean, the only thing that he consistently believes all the way through is that he should be adored, and everything he does is just to get that. So he doesn't believe any of the stuff he doesn't believe any of the stuff he's spewing. I don't think he actually believes any of the Bajoran stuff. I don't think he believes half of what he was saying when he was on the ship. He was just saying whatever he could to make anybody adore him and give him power. So he doesn't any of the stuff he says to
how does an
Cisco,
actor believe their lines or not?
But actor aside, the character, it's like the man Gul Dukat.
Dukat's a consummate actor.
He doesn't, but he doesn't believe what. Yeah, but he doesn't believe what
I
he
think
says
belief
to
is
Cisco
one more weapon for a Cardassian. That's what we see.
He doesn't believe it. He's trying to get others to believe it. He knows it's horseshit. He's just trying to get others to believe it.
I think his ability to believe it is actually the core of his capacity to be a chameleon.
Okay, well, this was good.
Oh man, that was really well argued. Dang,
I'm giving the point to Ashley I think you might have had a harder take on this one, Dave, and I think you did kind of go after it in the right way for sure.
You got me thinking about the
But yeah,
way that Garrick's consciousness gets described, like getting into the mode of that lizard in the Garrick novel, A Stitch in Time, which is quite lovely.
You almost granted Ashley her argument here. It's like, yes, exactly, but that's the point. Like
we were hewing very
talk.
close to each other.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't believe any of it, but that's who he is. So it's real. You're like,
I think there's a lot of it he doesn't believe and a lot of it that he does believe. And most of what he believes is, I'm the best.
Yeah, the things he says that's telling other people he's the best, he believes all that stuff.
100%.
That would be an interesting way to do a watch of that character.
Yeah.
Look for moments where it's obvious and moments where, like, I don't know if he's lost in it or where he is in the... that would be a really fascinating...
Well, here's the moment. I think this when I have to go to a debate or a class L probe sometime. But the moment I was thinking of is when he and Benjamin are on the cave, in that cave, right? And he looks, well, there's like almost 2 moments in that episode. But there's like when he's pleading with Cisco and he's just like, no, I tried to save as many people as I could. And he's just like arguing and just like, it's like, does he believe that in that moment? Because then later in that same episode, he's just like, I should have killed them all. It's just like, which one's the true Ducat? You know, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, well argued both. Oh, I thought I gave Ashley her point. Let me go do that now. All right, Ashley, why don't we go to you next, just because that's how I have them written down in order here.
Okay.
So it'll confuse me less likely. There you go.
All right. Be it resolved, the original 1701 is the most iconic ship of the franchise. And let's do Dave for and Davin against.
All right, Dave, your 30 seconds starts now.
In the design Bible for the original series, a rule is established. Living accommodations and everything have to be submarine-like, with 2 or whatever number of nacelles evenly balanced, so as to make the design plausible. This is almost like a 2-sentence definition of Enterprise itself. What could be a better, more immediate representation of the entirety of Star Trek than that silhouette? I think I'm out of time.
Okay.
All right, Davin.
All right. I grant you your opening statement, actually. It is very nice and very beautiful. But does that make it the most iconic ship? Nay, it does not. I will say the most iconic ship in the history of Star Trek is, in fact, the D. And the reason I would say that is, one, super iconic opening. It had longer on TV, 7 years. It had the movies after that. It's now come back in the Picard series 20 years beyond that. It's had a 30-year legacy of at least 40 years of affecting.
Still trying to make that first impression.
Open debate. First impression. Like that music and that the ship turning.
Oh, come on.
Like, come on now.
Oh, come on. What a great thing.
No one watching this podcast right now was even alive when that show was on. So it's not the most iconic because it's gotten lost in time. But yes, I agree with you that it set a beautiful
if we were to turn
template
to the orthodox definition of an icon, it's something that holds or contains whatever it symbolizes. And I think that's true of the original 1701. No bloody A, B, C, or
not just because it's the first. yes, bloody D, and Sunny D.
Oh,
but But no, the first airplane isn't the most iconic airplane. Just because it's the first doesn't carry that much weight.
See, now when it comes to, I mean, airplanes, you're on a different argument. Well, man, you're right there. I mean, airplanes aren't spaceships.
It was a fine analogy.
I would argue that the first airplane is the most iconic airplane, but
what was it called? And like no one even knows.
Kitty Hawk.
Yeah. The first airplane was before Italy, but
oh, that's oh man, all those Da Vinci sketches are man.
I'm gonna give it to Dave for the Scotty quote.
Damn it.
Scotty is right. It's
no bloody D, eh?
The D wouldn't be what it is without the original one.
I didn't dispute that point, but all right.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a pretty tough uphill you were doing.
I will say it's a hard question because the D I think is the most iconic of the series, but the original one is
in my heart. I mean, the generational argument you made was really on point because, like, in my heart, it's the Galaxy class silhouette that is when it does that little stretch and then takes off. Woo!
Yeah,
he's still in my heart.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
Yep. Like I love the Defiant, but it's not as cool looking as the ships with the nacelles and stuff.
That's true.
And
my personal favorite is the Nebula or the New Orleans class, but it shows up on screen for 4.5 seconds and it's already destroyed, so nobody knows what it looks like.
Should we waste a few minutes talking about the Cali class and the engineering section? No. That's
God.
All right, Dave. Let's carry on.
All right. Be it resolved. Jellicoe's shift schedule makes more sense. So we've had Davin, you've argued for and against already. Ashley, you've argued only for something, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Davin, why don't you take Jellicoe's shift schedule makes more sense and argue for that?
Okay.
All right.
How about gladly? Because I'm going to get it done. So, the reason it makes more sense is it's a 4-shift rotation. It's not only better for alertness of the crew while they're on duty because they're more rested, but also allows them to enjoy more time to themselves as well. It gives them more flexibility during their day. It also gives more flexibility in I'll get to it in the open debate.
So I think what we're talking about here in terms of the definition would be 6 4-hour shifts, or 4 6-hour shifts.
Do they do a 24-hour schedule
instead of 3? Yeah, instead of 3 8-hour shifts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All
right.
Take
30 seconds to you, Ashley.
I don't believe it does make more sense, especially the way he implemented it, where it was immediately. There's only a set number of crew on that ship, and to immediately change those crew times, there would either be less people on each shift, which wouldn't be as safe for the ship, or there would be people doing double shifts. So they would get a 6-hour shift, and then they'd have 12 hours off, and then have to do a 6-hour shift again, and that would be constantly rotating like that, or they would have to bring more people on.
Okay, so I might have to say one thing here. 60 seconds. I didn't think we were arguing that. If we're arguing that, was it right in that moment in chain of command, that's a whole different thing because that's pretty abrupt. But also perhaps what's necessary for him to complete his mission. But say we're not debating that and we're just debating the schedules themselves. You got to have the 6. Like it gives you more flexibility and specialization as well because there's more crew on rest at a time. If you need somebody for like an emergency or whatever, it's more likely that they'll be rested and not sleeping if they're not already.
But you either have to have more crew on the ship or you have to have smaller shifts. So if you say you had 100 crew people per shift and you have 300 crew members on, then you either need to bring on another 100 crew members onto the ship, or you need to break it down so it's only like 75 people. 70
The more the merrier. We're merry men and women.
Right. No, I mean, this brings up a really interesting point, which is that a lot of the starships we see, particularly from TNG forward, with the Defiant being a really notable exception, would be remarkably empty volumes in space. You know, a crew of 1,400 on the Enterprise. I love that YouTube video that visualizes all 1,000 or so of them just standing on one little square there, right?
One little square, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the sense of space in there, even though lots of it is taken up with, you know, engineering the stuff and life support and dolphins and all sorts of stuff. I mean, the number of people aboard is actually quite small quite often in these things. I mean, the original Enterprise is supposed to have, what, 410 crew, which would be a much fuller ship for its size. So I think because I haven't done the math in my head, and I can't do it at this speed. So I'm interested about like the logistical question you pose there is really interesting, because you're right. You'd have to subdivide the crew into smaller segments. Mm-hmm. So it would be more like running with a closer to a skeleton crew.
Right.
You'd have more teams.
Unless you're setting,
it would just be smaller.
I mean, unless you're somehow setting people to do different kinds of tasks in the day, but then that makes that becomes insane.
Or double shifting people, or, you know, every second shifting people, like,
yeah,
who knows?
How long is the school day? What are the parents going to do if now they're working 6 hours instead of 8 hours and the kids are still in school? Where are the kids going?
That's literally only an Enterprise D problem. Nobody else has schools on their starships. Like,
I mean, we're talking about Jellicoe on the Enterprise.
I think on this one, I think Davin gets the point on this one. But what it does raise my question is, if your captain isn't a human working on basically a 24-hour circadian rhythm, do they set the time that the ship works on?
Isn't that a problem anyway in Starfleet?
Yeah, like, shouldn't every ship run on the same schedule?
They do.
So then how come he can come in and just say
they all run on star dates?
No, the same amount of hours. They all run on Earth time, right?
Right.
Don't they? Like, they all run on a 24-hour schedule, don't they?
Why would the captain get to choose whether it's 3 or 4? Like, it would just make sense to me that Starfleet decides that all Starfleet vessels run on either 3 or 4 shifts.
Well, that seems to be something they leave up to a captain. But they do let people personalize these things quite a bit.
Captains choose right down to the uniform the crew wears as well, right?
Like Vulcans run
various styles that people are wearing at different times.
Yeah.
And it seems like that maybe that's left to like some admiral who's like, ha, you all wear skirts, or something. But yeah. Anyway, we should probably.
All right. Moving on then. Be it resolved. The first Shap is a great place to be.
Can you remind us what the first Shap is?
The first Shap, you may recall from the great DS9 episode, beloved, you might say. Revered? Maybe I wouldn't go that far. But loved, certainly. Alan Moraine, what's it called again?
Move along home.
Move along home, of course. Move along home. Yes. So it's what is the name of that species? I can't remember the name of the species now. But anyway, they have this game, and it puts you in the game. So you're like physically running around inside this game, and the first level they call the first Shap, but like it's like super hard, and the Starfleet crew can barely handle it. But like they laugh because it's like that's children like don't even have a problem with the first Shap on their world, so they just like laughing at stuff. So like that's the first Shap. It's not to be the species that makes the game don't take it seriously, but you know the rest should be left up to the debate, or at least so they say. Who the hell knows?
They didn't start on the first Shap.
Yeah, you started on the first Shap.
No, but they didn't start on the first Shap because he asked about why they didn't start on the first Shap, and he said only children start on the first Shap.
I thought he was just mocking them because they did.
No, I think they started on the second Shap. And then and wasn't Quark asking why they didn't start at the beginning? And he's like, only children start on the first Shap.
Do I have to look?
We don't even know what the first Shap is.
Oh my god! No,
this is a delightfully speculative debate.
Yeah, now I gotta look it up. It's been a while since I've seen the episode. All right, so let me see. Challenge Quark to play a board game. Blah blah blah. What a leader. Meanwhile, the office. On the sixth. Come on now, tell me. So we're going missing from the station. On the second level, they find it. They get to the second level, it says. This didn't tell me a whole lot. Well, I mean, I guess it's irrelevant to the question, the debate, somewhat. Well, I mean, I can skip and come back to that one. Okay, I'm going to come back to that one. I got other debates. Now you've poked a hole in that one.
I'm so sorry. We can still argue it, though, whether they started on the first Shap or not. Because, I mean, there could be glory or there could not be glory.
All right, argue it anyway.
Okay.
Glory to be found on the first Shap.
Who's for?
Go ahead. Did I not say?
I don't remember.
Dave, you're for.
Okay.
It's a great place to be, the first Shap.
Who doesn't love the bunny hill when you don't know how to ski? First Shap's a great place to be. You know, the first Shap, you get there, it's children's games, maybe some depictions of mythical friends or monsters, maybe going through a woods toward a grandmother's house. I'm sure that there are socio-cultural values to be learned and prime directive related things to be gleaned about this species from the first Shap. Great place. Awesome place to be.
All right. Well, Ashley, your 30-second rebuttal.
I wish I could remember the guy's name right now, but I think he sums it up.
From the Wadi, that's what they're
yes, yeah. I think he sums it up perfectly when he says only children start on the first Shap. If you're an adult playing the game and you're starting on the first Shap, then you have the mind of a child. What's the point in starting on the first Shap? You've already surpassed that point in your life. It's too easy. There's no glory in easy. You need to go through a bit of pain for glory.
You sound like a Klingon. That's very noble and glorious of you, I admit. But sometimes science has to get into the slightly uncomfortable, slightly
I didn't really launch that.
Infamous
60 seconds.
places.
There we go.
In order to gain the knowledge we need. We're explorers, strange new worlds, new civilizations. We gotta see the first Shap.
Fallow was the guy's name.
I'm gonna say that there's no glory to be found on any Shap because, after all, it's only a game.
Ooh.
I think I'm just gonna give
That's a hot take. That's a hot take about a great place.
Yeah, that was a hot take. All right, Ashley, you get the point. After tearing apart down the question in the first place, but
sorry,
I love that episode in the first place.
Me too, but we can't. I think you're right. I think you're remembering it right, but I can't find proof of that anywhere right now. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go watch that episode after this.
Oh, warning.
Yeah. All right. Well, that one didn't go as planned. All right, moving on.
That one was fun.
Yeah. Ashley.
Quick guys, bullshit at each other.
Okay, be it resolved. The silly episodes are what make Star Trek what it is, and without them, it would just be another generic sci-fi series. Davin, you're going to argue for, and Dave against.
Dang. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, of course we need the silly episodes, and because they're the ones that we think about when we think about Star Trek, I think the most often, which is, the Trouble with Tribbles, the Move Along Homes. Those are the ones we quote so much. And the baseball episode on DS9, or like the one where the doctor's singing opera all the time. He's an opera singer and everyone loves him. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. We love those episodes. And we don't want it to be Babylon 5, which is never funny and fun. All right. Dave, your 30 seconds starts now.
In another time, we could have been friends, Captain. Greatest words, one of the greatest episodes of the original series. Not a laugh in it. The silly episodes are fun, but what makes Star Trek is the kind of story it tells, the way it gets into the ambition to get across the next hill, see the next star, pick one to the left and go on straight till morning. Its ambition, I think, is what defines it more than its humor, maybe.
I laughed my ass off through the Balance of Terror. So I don't know what you're talking about. That's a silly episode, and it's fantastic. So, and look, the Trouble with Tribbles, they don't remake. They don't remake.
Listen, the trouble with Tribbles is what you tell your friends about to tell them that Star Trek isn't that bad. There's some funny episodes. There's some comedy in there. But what happens to the Trouble with Tribbles? It gets turned into one of the greatest episodes of DS9.
Which is silly as shit.
Memorable, poignant homages.
Making my point for me.
Of it.
They make
a memory that holds the comedy, but isn't defined by it. It's a container in which that, but so much more can happen.
But what we've forgotten in this question here is, would that make it more generic and more like other franchises if they remove the humor? And that is yes. Babylon 5, super serious. Battlestar Galactica, super serious. We don't want it to be that. It can be that aspirational thing, but still have the humor that we carry into the future with us.
They're real. That's what does it.
I laugh my ass off through the chain of command.
I love it when they decide to just gas a planet.
It's hilarious.
Oh, this is a hard one to judge.
Oh boy.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna give that to Davin.
Oh, dang. Hoisted on someone else's petard.
I laugh my ass off when Picard cries in a grape field. No, anyway. No, I don't. That makes me cry every time.
Oh.
Okay.
It was hilarious when his family died in a fire.
That's where I was going next. That might have been too much, though. I might have lost myself at the debate there. All right. Go ahead, Dave.
Be it resolved. Guinan's presence aboard the Enterprise embodied what a real post-scarcity society looks like. Davin, you're for this. Ashley, you're against.
So, before we get started, are you suggesting that it's because they brought onto Federation starship that supposedly has no currency. They brought upon a private citizen to run the bar.
Sure, and that there's a bar given the total lack of necessity for staff and replicators around and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, there's something
I
else
gotcha.
going on. Yeah.
I see what you're going with that now. All right.
Okay.
Who's for?
You're for, Ashley's against.
Oh. Okay. Yes, it absolutely does. See what her presence aboard the Enterprise shows. And it's not so much her, it's what she brings with her. And which is the real human experience. Not just human, because of course she's Elorian, but the idea that a human-made product, especially something that you drink or eat or take in artistically, is better human or sentient developed. And Synthahol could never hope to live up to it and be as appealing.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going to argue that Star Trek isn't really a post-scarcity society.
All right.
You got to break your question next. You know what, Ashley?
Great.
There is still lots of currency and such within the show. I don't understand how Starfleet can even consider that they wouldn't need currency, because they deal with species that do use currency, and somehow they're always able to pay for things.
All right, let's have a 60-second free-for-all here.
Well, yes, the way they do that is there's like basically an economics, I forget what it's called, but like an economics division of Starfleet, where like when all these Starfleet officers are spending their money on these worlds and stuff, they're just writing it up and sending it back to that division of Starfleet that then goes about, because they have reserves, they have wealth, they just don't have currency, so they like then go and they deal with the Bank of Boleus. And anyway, they find a way to pay. But point taken, nothing is truly. Your society can be post-scarcity, but if you're dealing with societies that aren't, then you have to do something. But what it shows is that if you have your post-scarcity society, that it still has a need for special. See, that's not really addressing scarcity. This is an interesting question, Dave. So, well, it does. A post-scarcity society still has the need for scarce things, which is these rare alcohols.
Yeah, because she has rare alcohols, but she doesn't give them out to everyone. She doesn't have enough for everyone. She hands
because they have
just
value.
Some out to some people, but that's not post-scarcity. That's still scarcity. She's in there just slipping Picard the good stuff and not telling anyone else on the ship about it.
Yeah, so I think we're arguing the same thing. I'm arguing that exactly like this post-scarcity society still values scarcity. So I think we've come to the same place.
I think that improves
this
that
is fascinating.
It's not post-scarcity.
That's fascinating.
Because how come Picard gets that delicious blue alcohol and the ensign doesn't?
Aldebaran whiskey.
See, for my side of this, as just the third wheel in the argument here, my side of this is that it's actually an economy of relationship and experience. Mm-hmm. That
she offers
the
that
relationships
as well.
people build up, and the way they get to know each other. That's in one sense the real economy that's going back and forth there, because the other material needs are met, but. That wasn't part of the arguments which were made and argued. I think that
buttresses my point, though, does it not? Because what I'm saying is exactly that. Not just experiences with other beings, but the things that those beings create is the thing that has value in that society.
That's true.
In a society where all your needs are met.
You didn't say that stuff.
No,
count it.
Not as much.
Which
well, I mean, I did. I sort of did, but no, not in relation to the way you.
Oh,
So experience becomes the currency, and if you don't have enough
Yeah.
experience, then you don't have enough currency to get the scarce things that you want.
well, if I can see what you're arguing there. Yeah, I can see what you're arguing. And I think certainly by the time you hit the Picard series, that seems to be the way that they're interpreting it. You know, you look at where Raffi's house ends up out in, I mean, honestly, a pretty beautiful location, but she's clearly understanding herself to have gotten kind of the short end of the stick compared to Picard's chateau in the south of France.
You know what post-scarcity gets you? The guy from most toys. That's what it gets you. People become so obsessed with the rare things that they kidnap Data
Right?
and try to murder their
There's an
closest
interesting
companions. Is that what you want? I don't even know what I'm arguing anymore, but I feel like we're just Class L probing this one.
Yeah, this would be a
all
good
right,
Class L
these
probe,
are
too.
just gonna have to
I
go
think
to the
actually,
probe.
I think we've ended up closer to Ashley's arguing
Probably.
points, all of us on this one. So I think Ashley gets the point here.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I wasn't comfortable with my position.
I think like she's
We
just
are-
Guinan's position is just wholly ambiguous. I don't think there's any way to reduce that ambiguity about like her whole presence there in that sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a bit. Yeah, that was just a fun curveball of a question.
How would you define how her presence embodies the post-scarcity society then? Other than that, or
for
just
me,
that experiential way that you meant, as far as like talking to another person rather than a replicator.
Yeah, it's for me. I suppose it's about purpose-driven structures. And if this is a place that's supposed to be lived in, it's supposed to have families, it's supposed to have life going on, then you need places like this for the kind of what's it called, recreation, the kind of recreation that typifies humanity or Federation values or that kind of stuff, right? Because it's supposed to be as much moving embassy as it is anything else. You know?
Guns the checkout aisle at the grocery store. So if you go to the self-serve aisle, you hate Guinan. Facts.
What I liked about
Bring it home.
what I like about 10 Forward now and the Guinan role, and then there's always like servers in 10 Forward and everything. Being a lifelong restaurant industry person, it just shows that regardless of tips or salary or anything like that, there will still be people in the future when they don't have to worry about money that still want to do that sort of thing. It's not all just this military roles where these jobs where they just get put and they're doing science and math and all these, that there's still going to be people that just want to interact with the crew and serve them some drinks and some food just for love of the game.
And you know what?
Like,
I think
people
that would
can
be
find
the
their
case.
place to thrive.
Yeah.
Right, Davin, what are you saying?
It gives people,
the
ability to do what they want regardless of money.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much true across the board. Most jobs can be fun if it's like for the right kind of person, if you don't have a shitty boss.
Yeah.
So it's like, you get rid of all the shitty bosses, people would do most jobs.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, of course, cripplingly low
to make
wages.
ends meet, right?
Yeah, there's that too. Like, there's this cripplingly low wages are no good. But
yeah,
like, when you remove that,
you describe as crippling us. Sounds like probably generally untoward. Yeah. I'm glad we got that point.
Yeah. Be it resolved, Star Trek should continue with 2 separate time frames to appeal to a larger demographic of fans. In this one, I'm thinking like basically about myself, but I'm probably not alone, where it's just like I vastly more enjoy the not jumping ahead 500 years. Like I'm not as interested in that. Like I'm not really interested in this Starfleet Academy show because it's in that timeline. Like that's so far removed from everything that I've grown to love in the 23rd, 24th kind of century era that Like, I just don't care. Like, it's just so far removed. It's like it's basically a new show. So it's like that's basically my point, I guess. So that's what I mean by like the two time frames, like the super future, and then there's like the 23rd, 24th century. But they could change that and make it two other timelines. But same deal. Ashley, you should be for this one. I'm gonna say.
Okay.
All right, 30 seconds starts now.
I'm glad I got 4 because I absolutely believe this. I fully believe that there's enough people. As a fan of Discovery, there's so many people that disliked that jump forwards, and people tend to be liking Strange New Worlds a little bit more, and they're asking for more stuff sort of in the time frame that we're used to. And I don't think it's just for different demographics of fans. I think it's good for all fans. I love both. I loved the stuff way in the future to see where we got to, and I love the Strange New Worlds stuff. I would love more in that sort of Deep Space Nine era. I know that they're pitching this President Archer TV show. I think that would be phenomenal.
What?
Yes. Yeah, they're trying to get a
Pacula back.
Yes, he is pitching it to be as president of the Federation. And I think that would be phenomenal too. Like, I want all pockets of Star Trek, and I want to see all little stories within those pockets of all. All right.
Well, that was 60 seconds. But Dave, you run long on all of them, so continue to do that this time.
So, I suppose my problem is the issue of the appeal to demographics, all that kind of stuff. I mean, Star Trek's never been a franchise that makes $1 billion. There's 9,000 Star Wars shows out there and everything else. Star Trek has always chugged along very well telling the stories it does. And when it doesn't, you get an Abrams verse, or you get some other thing that, while it looks like Star Trek, isn't always necessarily Star Trek. In the sense that they depart so far from the style of telling a story, which we come to know, that what ends up is a functionally aesthetic resemblance, but not a substantive resemblance.
All right, this is crazy. You both made insanely good points there. So this is definitely going to come down to the open debate, because right now I got nothing as far as a decision. Here we go, 60 seconds, which we might turn into 120, because this is a good debate.
All right.
I think regardless of the time period that it's in and what it looks like, as long as it is keeping the core values of Star Trek, it is Star Trek. So everyone can argue that Discovery is very, very different from Star Trek, and it looks too different, and it's way too far in the future, but it is still telling those Star Trek stories. It is still giving us those moral questions that Star Trek has always given us. It has interpersonal relationships that Star Trek has always had.
It's not doing it for the same reasons, though. This is doing it to fill a marketplace in a far more deliberate way than has ever been the case before. It's not that they weren't supposed to be hits and all that kind of stuff. That's fair enough. But this is put to the ends of endless production in a way that exhausts.
But if we have two different timelines going at the same, time, then we can tell two different kinds of stories. We can have the stories that are more like the original Star Trek that appeal to those fans, and then we can have. Then why not? Why can't we have a show? We can have a show set in the 23rd century, a show set in the 24th century, and a show set in the 31st century, all at the same time.
My interest is already departed. That's too much Star Trek. It's
no,
too much.
get Star Trek going all the time. There's never too much Star Trek. There's
There
never. We used to get
absolutely is too
27
much Star
episodes a
Trek.
year, and now we
There
get
is
10.
too much
Give us 3
bloody
different
Star Trek.
timelines, and we'll get 30 episodes a year, and I'll be happy.
No,
There
no,
can
there's
never be
much
too
of it.
much Star Trek.
It is just gristle at this point.
Wow.
I like gristle.
I'm a vegetarian.
Gristle's good
God,
for
that
you.
was a good
It's
one.
good for your bones.
Now I'm back to the does the cat believe his own bullshit, because I'm like, I'm not even sure
it's
I
like
agree with all the points
congealed
I'm making
bone.
anymore while I was making them. Woo! That was fun.
Oh, wow. I think, wow, it was, I'm going to give the point to Dave. And what did it is, Dave made a point about, like, in like the Ben and Jerry's thing was a good analogy. But then, because that was a really good point, and then Ashley just like jumped on it. She's just like, yes, Ben and Jerry's the shit out of Star Trek. And I was just like, that's the way to go. But I'm like, I don't know if I want that.
Who doesn't want
But
more?
like,
Oh,
see, what I would
man.
say is actually somewhere between your 2 points. I think there is too much Star Trek as far as like series and like shorts and all these little things they try to do. But the good, when they come across a hit, like the seasons need to be longer. Like the fact that Strange New Worlds that doesn't have like 20 episodes a season is just like ridiculous. And the same with like Lower Decks. It's a cartoon. They could have made a ton of those. Like,
Yeah.
But anyway,
I do love a 26 episode season. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. I think we all missed those.
Yes.
Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, and even if it's like the super future timeline of Discovery and Academy, if people are digging it, like make it longer. Like, but like I think they do maybe throw too many series out at the same time. I think kind of the 2 at the max is kind of the way to go. Maybe that was the special formula. You start a show, and then halfway through that show, you introduce another one to kind of keep the wave going. I think that really worked. Like when they just did Enterprise, that wasn't enough Star Trek because it just sat there by itself in obscurity, and it wasn't getting enough attention drawn to it. But like, now it's almost gone too far where they're just kind of just throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks.
I say throw more shit, because eventually something awesome is going to stick. Like, I think Strange New Worlds was throwing shit at a wall, and look at how great that is.
Well, I think honestly, they've perfected throwing shit at a wall in some way.
That show kind of does. Like, they do it on purpose. They're like, singing Klingons, take that. Like, and it's like, cool, all right.
But this is the same thing that I will always argue for these silly episodes.
Yeah.
Try things and see how it works. Doesn't work? Stop doing it.
Well, fundamentally, isn't that like one of those Star Trek values you were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah.
That like, try it. You might fail. You can do nothing wrong and still not win. That's not failing. That's life. Isn't that Picard? I think.
Yeah. Who knows?
And I will say,
Academy could be fucking awesome. We don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Oh, these rhetorical tomfooleries.
And I think Dave knew his audience too. Like the money argument he was making was working. It's working on me pretty good too. Like, yeah, if I ever sniff something's done for money instead of just the beauty of your like soul, I'm like, no thanks. So yeah, that one worked on me pretty good. Okay, we got a close game here. All right.
Oh yeah, so we do.
Ashley.
All right,
I'm looking forward to this one.
The Romulans are a more interesting species than the Klingons or the Borg, and should have been used more.
I can go either one side on this one, so I'm just super stoked for it.
I'll do Dave for and Davin against.
Fine.
All right. Jolan true.
I've lost already. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
The Romulans are mysterious, powerful, intelligent, devious, ruthless. And they love a particular shade of the color green so much, and they're consistent with it. There's so little to turn away from with the Romulans as a villain, right? Look at the Debatey. Come on, that sucker makes the Enterprise worry about things. Ooh, yeah.
I do love me a Debatey. My favorite ship. Starfleet, start making your ships look like birds. Seriously. We could try it out. Throw shit at the wall in ship design, you know. All right.
Is this your
version
argument?
No, I'm gonna start that now.
They need to make.
Here's the thing. Okay, go ahead.
They need to make Starfleet needs to make their ships look like Canada geese, because they'll be the most terrifying ships in space.
And it could spit out the toothed tongue, like it would just be like terrifying.
That's the tractor beam. It's a tongue.
That would be amazing. Just like these teeth on it. That's amazing. All right, now my rebuttal.
Okay, sorry, Devin.
We get distracted by the Debatey.
After that, Canada Goose.
No more ship toys tonight.
Brought to you by Canada Geese.
Yeah. All right. So, I agree with most of the things you said again, if not all. I love the Romulans. I do love that shade of green. But the greatest charm of the Romulans as a villain, and not even villain, but as an adversary or a species in Star Trek, is that you don't see them very often. They're so meticulous, like you say. The fact that they're lying back in like you have to have some species. Like the Klingons are everywhere. The Borg are everywhere, especially once Voyager hits. Like Romulans, they're like that guy in Simpsons. He's like, but the little guy hasn't done anything yet, and he just wants to see what the little guy's gonna do. And then they make him go back inside, and you just hear, like that's the Romulans. Did that make sense? Anyway, 60 seconds.
I mean, for me, part of the charm of the more recent series that way has been getting to meet those more down-to-earth Romulan characters that we've run into in the Picard series. Some of those folks who are, they may have complicated
the Southerners.
It's wonderful to see those other sides of them, right? And that's
what you're saying is you're prejudiced against Northerners. You've heard it here. Dave Buckley is prejudiced against Northern Romulans.
Listen, the heart wants what it wants.
He wants a Southern Romulan gal. No. Look, we all.
But yeah, I mean, I love that as a kind of more to see of Romulans. I mean, you're right in some ways. Maybe the Borg are supposed to be the big nasty threat, but I just want more Romulans all the time.
So let me attack one part of this argument here that we didn't get to address, which is the part that they we talked a lot about whether they should be seen more or not. But the thing we haven't talked much about, are they a more interesting species than the Klingons or the Borg? Are they more interesting than the Borg? Yes. Are they more interesting than the Klingons?
Yes.
No. We've gotten so much deep lore about the Klingons. We know so much about them, but we know about their soul, their spirit. We know that's interesting.
Beating hearts, kill the gods.
Yeah, it's
wacky,
great.
Wacky, stabby. Right? Oh, come on. I want some Plomex soup. Bring me down
I bet it's very gray.
Steps.
I heard even the Romulan heart is gray. Gray is boring.
Oh, gray is subtle and nuanced. We want more gray. More gray.
That went off the rails.
Funny enough, I was kind of leaning towards Davin there, and then you said something.
I knew I did when I said it.
Against yourself when you said we have more lore about the Klingons.
I know.
And the whole question was, they should be, if we got more lore, and Dave had mentioned seeing in the Picard series and the different side of the Romulans, there's so much there, and
I talked over
Don't.
my previous point.
Yeah.
Like I was just like,
Yeah,
the
so
thing
I'm
is,
gonna-
they
I'm
don't
gonna
have
give it to-
lore, and that's what's awesome. I'm like, but they got no lore. I was like, as soon as I said it, I was like,
You're a very charitable debater.
yeah, well played.
I want more lore. There's so much in there. Like I want more about the background with the Vulcans and the split. I want like there's just so much richness.
Absolutely.
They need to bring.
Oh.
We need.
Oh no, that's
They
the
need
scimitar. That's ugly. Shinzon in your ugly ship. Anyway,
They need their time to shine like the Cardassians.
yum.
Mm.
Yeah.
Changing Marco Limo. He's played a good Romulan in the past.
All right.
He plays good everything.
That's true. That's true. Ooh.
Like that greasy cop in Far Beyond the Stars.
Yeah.
You know, his neighborhood's going to hell in a handbasket. All right. Well, Dave.
Be it resolved. Boimler will never make captain. Davin, you're for this. Ashley, you're against.
Okay.
Okay. Boimler will never make captain. Boimler will never make captain because I assume we're talking about Bradward Boimler, correct?
Yes.
The good Boimler, William T. Boimler, was killed. Who we're talking about here is the very clearly lesser Boimler. So you think in the multiverse of Boimlers, the shitty Boimler that we get to see on a daily basis if we're watching Lower Decks every day, as everyone should. That's like, of course not. William T. Boimler could have been captain, would have been captain. But Bradward Boimler? No.
Okay, so we have a lesser Boimler argument.
Mm-hmm.
Classic lesser Boimler. That's a good one.
I absolutely believe that he will make captain. He is super positive about everything Starfleet. He knows all the regulations. He does a great job of bringing together people. He does it with his friends. He brings them together to get things solved. Do I think he's going to be the captain of an Enterprise or a Titan? Absolutely not. But I think there's a great little science vessel out there that he is going to absolutely rule the roost on.
Okay.
You're going to give Brad Boimler a science vessel. That's crazy. Who knows? They could have viruses. Who knows what they have on there? He is a calamity. You're going to give Brad Boimler
he's dealt
with
all of those things. He's seen all of those things. He will be an excellent either second he could be on a California class because he's done all the second contacts. He has been in just absolutely emergency situations and figured it out and come out of it alive. He will make captain.
Like everyone in
Starbase 80. He could be a captain on a Starbase.
R.I.P. William D. Boimler.
He absolutely will become captain unless he dies.
No, he's like Boimler is basically Lavelle. He's Lavelle from the Lower Decks episode in Star Trek, except like worse.
He even pretends he's from
Hawaii. Lavelle is the guy who's just like, when it's time for promotion, his commanding officer is like, I don't know about Lavelle. Like that kind of guy does not become captain, and that's who Boimler is. I don't know about Boimler. You know, there's always going to be someone else ahead of him in line.
Well, especially if Beckett's just cut his leg open.
Where's my Baptist?
It's
in the
case. Gotcha. Man, those were some great arguments. I like the sense from Ashley's argument that you can build a resume over time. You know, it's not just early career foibles that are going to define you. It's the kind of consistency you're going to bring to your approach and being able to learn over the long haul. Although there is something when you see that future statue of Boimler as the laziest, most undisciplined Starfleet officer in history, there may be something to have inside of the argument.
He's the shitty Boimler. We can't dispute that fact. William T. Boimler was a saint.
Oh man, should have kept Thomas Riker. Anyway,
He was not a saint.
I think
He was
that
just shitty
statue had to be a joke put up there by Mariner, because there is
Yeah,
no
maybe.
way
We can't
that
discuss
Bradward Boimler can be considered lazy. On his time off, he studies Starfleet
He's not lazy.
regulations. He is
That's
not
true.
oh
lazy.
man,
He's
That
not
was
lazy.
I mean, he does have the
definitely put
Boimler
there.
effect, unfortunately named after him.
That's a good point.
The time wasting thing.
That's just buffer time. That's just good sense.
Buffer time.
Buffer time. I think
Have you heard of this buffer
here.
time?
Oh man,
I know Lower Decks way too well.
Oh, it's the best show
Ooh,
ever.
Buffer time. That's one of my favorite episodes, honestly.
Oh, it's so good.
When they said there was going to be no more Lower Decks, I think I cried. But it
Yeah,
lives on
I
in
was
comics.
sad.
And the comics are
Yeah.
great. So, which we'll cover on the
That's
Trek.
true. Yeah.
So who gets the point?
Oh, Ashley got the point.
Okay, well, Ashley is our winner.
Indeed.
Oh, sweet.
Indeed.
Congratulations, Ashley. Glory
Thank
to
you
the
very
House of
much.
Millard.
Indeed. Glory to you and your house.
And your house. Anyway, well, thank you for joining us, everybody. Hope you joined
Indeed.
our silly debate. Enjoyed our silly debates there. You can check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you get your podcasts. And
Indeed.
what else should I say? We're a member of the Swear to Pod Network. Check out those cool podcasts there. We got the BS Bargain Bin, X-Rated, the X-Men Animated Review Show. Of course, us, Locutors of Trek, Independent Wrestling Profiles, and the Graphic Histories podcast. Check them out all. Even if you don't like wrestling or histories or the X-Men, I suggest you go listen anyway.
A lot of things you don't like already.
I say if you. I'm just saying. I don't know why you wouldn't like those.
Man.
Yeah, I know. Right? Any final words for the people, you guys?
Oh man.
Ashley?
No, I didn't think of any final words.
That's fine.
Right.
And there's only one thing left to say.
Indeed. If you've enjoyed this only half as much as we have, then we've enjoyed it twice as much as you.
That's so true.
And transmission.